Welcome all developers to my new video today. In today's video we will build together a to-do app in Android. I will build the app step by step with you using Kotlin and Jetpack Compose and with the design MVVM. I will go through composables, building screens and navigating between screens. Also build together ViewModel and app repository, and we will run the app in Android emulators, test, debug. The full code also will be provided on GitHub, the link in the description, so can't wait to start developing with you. In today's video we will build a native Android application using Jetpack Compose, and the application is to-do app. In today's video we will be able to add a new to-do. Let's say here fix the door, and we could pick a date using date picker. I could select if the to-do is urgent or not urgent and save the new task. This is an urgent task, and I could here say get the milk, and let's say this is for today, this is not urgent. I will save this unclicked, and this is get the milk task. I could switch here to make the task not urgent, or I could also switch here. I can also delete tasks from this list. There we go. So we will build this app, and a similar application I did it earlier. You could find the link in the bio for building the same application in Java and XML user interface. Today we will build with Kotlin and Jetpack Compose. So let's get started. Build a new project, and for this new project I will select an empty activity to work with Jetpack Compose, and I will save it, and I will here give it a name, to do Jetpack. You could watch my other video where I finished the same application working with Java and XML. In this application we will work with Kotlin and Jetpack Compose instead of Java and XML. In order to build this application I will follow MVVM design pattern, and to follow MVVM design pattern I should add a specific set of folders in my application. I will start here designing the main structure, and then I will write the code one by one. So the first thing in our application we should add a package for navigation, and I need also a package for the model. So I will add here package for a model, and I will add one more package for view model, and my last package will be for views. So in this model I will add all the logic. In navigation I will add nav host and nav graph. In view model I will build the app repository and view model class, and in views I will build the UI design for all screens in my application. And in my main activity I will use the composable functions I build in the views screens. So let's get started and start with navigation. In order to work with navigation I will first of all create nav graph, and before adding any nav graph or work with any navigation we should add some dependencies. So head to Jetpack Compose and let's search here for navigation or nav graph. So navigation in Jetpack Compose. If you scroll down a little bit you will get the dependencies that you should add in your build.gradle, and I will select here Kotlin because I'm working with Kotlin. The dependency I need to work with Jetpack Compose is this one, because I want to work with navigation compose. Okay, so I will copy those two lines, the version and the implementation, and come back to my application where I could add this in build.gradle, the project level, not the app level. So be careful to select the correct file. Scrolling down to dependencies, and here we go, I got my implementation in here with this nav version. I will synchronize and test my application before move on to the implementation. Now if I run the app I should get the correct the UI I should get a working application. Make sure everything fine, perfect, all good. So let's go right now and create what we need in this navigation. In this navigation, I will only add one file, one Kotlin file, and this Kotlin file I will call it here, let's say my navigation or nav graph or nav host. And in here, all what I need to do, I don't really even need any classes, but I need to add two objects, making sure that those are the navigation that I have. So both of them should be serializable. So serializable, and my object here will be, I have basically two paths in today's project. The first one is list of to-dos, and the second one also going to be serializable, and the second one will be also object add a new to-do, and that's it. I should be fine with those to-dos. If I need to add icons or paths, I can give them here a class and create those objects out of that class with specific names or specific icons. But for now, I'm okay with basic navigation. Now I will go to main activity, and in main activity, I will create the main graph. So I will here remove those composable and the preview, and I will also remove here the scaffold. There we go. Within this application, within here, I will only prepare for navigation, and this navigation that I have right now, I will use it from Nav Controller. So I will create here a variable var Nav Controller, and this Nav Controller I will here use remember Nav Controller, and that would be good. Remember Nav Controller will give me this state variable for this Nav Controller. I can right now use it to build the main navigation in this application. Because here I'm designing basically my main structure of the app, I prefer to keep it inside a composable, not in main activity. I will create here in the same file, I will create my own composable to design the main structure. So this will be here my first composable, and this composable I will call it here my app, to design the initial looks and how the application looks like. Basically, because this navigation will be used over there, so I can create it over there like this, and I will build here the graph. All this information available here on GitHub, I mean on the developers. You could here look at navigation controller, how this navigation controllers works, and this is exactly what I did right now. Remember Nav Controller to build the state, and I right now can do design navigation graph. This is what I'm doing right now. So I will design navigation graph, which means which components or which composable will be visible when the user click or navigate in your application. I will do something similar to this one. So I will create a nav host right now, and I will specify the start destination, and I will specify later on which destinations I have based on those two objects I created earlier. Alright, so I will do the exact same thing. I can copy the code from here, bring it to my app, and this is nav host. I will import it. Be careful to import everything from Jetpack, so composable. I don't have anything called profile, and I don't have, so I will here remove those things, and later on I will add them in here. So first thing I have it, I will here add for destination, because my main destination will be the list, so I will use list of to-dos here for my main destination, and I will use it as a string, as a root name. Same thing, I will do it here for each one of those composable, and I will here specify here the root. This is here the first one, and the second one will be in my case, the second screen I will navigate to as well. Add a new to do. Here we go. I have here to look at, let me just remove those screen for now. Just get rid of those errors. Later on, I will add my own screens, and this is here. I should import this. Perfect. Here I will add the composable, or this is here the app main UI, and here add new task UI. I will do that in a second. So after building the main structure of the navigation I have with nav host, I will call this or use this first composable in here, and this is going to be my app composable, and all done. Now I will move on to create the model. In this model I will add my class. So this is going to be here a to-do class, and this to-do will be a data class. So I will add here data class, and basically I will add the constructor right away here. I have here var task, which is a string, and I also need var date, which is another string, and I need is urgent to be a boolean value, and that's is urgent to be boolean, and this is, don't forget to add here var, and I'm done with this new to do. After that, I can go and start build my repository, which is the source of truth that my application will use everywhere in this logic. So in ViewModel we have two classes. Let's go ahead and build the ViewModel classes right now. So I will here create the first class, which is app repository. And this app repository is the source of truth, or the main source of truth in this application. So it means it should include the list of to-dos and all functionalities I can do it with that list. So the list will be private, and so this will be a private of to-do list, and this is going to be a mutable list of to-do. What is a mutable list of to-do? This is a list that a state list. So any update to this list means the application will be will reload its content and build the UI one more time. So I will import the class, and here I have an empty private list initially. I have several functionality here. The first function is get list of to do. So this is here get function that I'm going to send this list everywhere. So I will here return, and by the way, this function Kotlin function will return this list of to do. So I create here a mutable list, but I'm returning list, right? So I will here return this list, the to-do list I have. This is the first function I have it. I have one more function here, which is update to do. Update one to do, and this update means it's going to be urgent or not urgent. So in order to do this update, I need the index of the to do within my list, and I need the new value to be updated as well. This is a boolean value to switch between urgent or not urgent. And in here I will go ahead to my list of to-dos, and this is here to-do list. And for this to-do list, I will update a specific index, which is the index that I'm working with. But here I will be careful because I need to replace this index with a new to-do with the new value of this boolean. So in order to do that, I will copy this to-do list element index. I will use here copy, and while I'm copying, I will update the new value, which is urgent, to have the new value that I'm passing as parameter. In this way, I guarantee that copying or updating this specific element done correctly. Very important hint here. And the last thing I have it here is delete one to do, and I will pass the deleted one. So here, let's say to delete, which is an object of type to do, and I will go to my list, to do list dot remove, and one of the remove overload is to do parameter, which is here in my case to delete. So here I'm done with the app repository. Perfect. I will move on to create the view model because we are designing MVVM design pattern. So after building the main structure of the navigation I have with nav host, I will call this or use this first composable in here, and this is going to be my app composable, and all done. Now I will move on to create the model. In this model, I will add my class. So this is going to be here a to-do class, and this to-do will be a data class. So I will add here data class, and basically I will add the constructor right away here. I have here var task, which is a string, and I also need var date, which is another string, and I need is urgent to be a boolean value, and that's is urgent to be boolean, and this is, don't forget to add here var, and I'm done with this new to do. After that, I can go and start build my repository, which is the source of truth that my application will use everywhere in this logic. So in ViewModel, we have two classes. Let's go ahead and build the ViewModel classes right now. So I will here create the first class, which is app repository. And this app repository is the source of truth, or the main source of truth in this application. So it means it should include the list of to-dos and all functionalities I can do it with that list. So the list will be private, and so this will be a private of to-do list, and this is going to be a mutable list of to-do. What is a mutable list of to-do? This is a list that a state list. So any update to this list means the application will be will reload its content and build the UI one more time. So I will import the class, and here I have an empty private list initially. I have several functionality here. The first function is get list of to do. So this is here get function that I'm going to send this list everywhere. So I will here return, and by the way, this function Kotlin function will return this list of to do. So I create here a mutable list, but I'm returning list, right? So I will here return this list, the to do list I have. This is the first function I have it. I have one more function here, which is update to do. Update one to do, and this update means it's going to be urgent or not urgent. So in order to do this update, I need the index of the to do within my list, and I need the new value to be updated as well. This is a boolean value to switch between urgent or not urgent. And in here, I will go ahead to my list of to-dos, and this is here to-do list. And for this to-do list, I will update a specific index, which is the index that I'm working with. But here I will be careful because I need to replace this index with a new to-do with the new value of this boolean. So in order to do that, I will copy this to-do list element index. I will use here copy, and while I'm copying, I will update the new value, which is urgent, to have the new value that I'm passing as parameter. In this way, I guarantee that copying or updating this specific element done correctly. Very important hint here. And the last thing I have it here is delete one to do, and I will pass the deleted one. So here, let's say to delete, which is an object of type to do, and I will go to my list, to do list dot remove, and one of the remove overload is to do parameter, which is here in my case to delete. So here I'm done with the app repository. Perfect. I will move on to create the view model because we are designing MVVM design pattern. Let's do that in a second step. Second class in the view model will be the view model class itself, which is a class. I will call it here to do app, to do view model. And this to-do view model should inherit from view model in here. So I will go ahead and inherit view model from Jetpack. So Android X lifecycle view model, this is very important. And I will also call the constructor right away. What basically I will do in here, I will create the same list I have it in app repo, but this time the list is a state list, because this view model will be responsible to update the UI every time I have any change in the logic. So I will here create a repo, which is an object from my repository, app repository, and I will make sure it's ready in here. Then I will create my state list. So state list, my state list is basically a mutable state list of to do. So mutable state means it's going to be refreshed or refresh the UI every time anything's happened to this list, addition, editing, or deleting. So it will be here a mutable state list of mutable state list, and I will make sure that I have here, this is it will be a list of to do, and initially it has no element in it, or I can apply, if I go here with 0, I will here go ahead and say this will be equal to all values come from the repo. So everything from the repo, so I will use here add all, and this going to get the collection from the repo dot get list of to-dos will be added to this state. Initially this list is empty right now in my repo, but it could be get the data from a database, so it's not always empty. So this is here will be the source of truth in this application, and this is my state list, which is perfect. Right now I need 3 functions, similar functions, so I have it in my repository, but now those functions will work with my state list and call the repository function. So each function here, I will start by adding new task, and this adding new task will take a new task, let's say here a to-do, which is a to-do object, and it will do 2 things. Number 1, go to repo dot add, did I add a function in repo? I'm not sure I did it. Repository get update delete, so I don't have any function in my repository yet to add a new to do to the list, so I will do that right now, which is important because I will call those functions from my view model. So in my repository, I will go here, say add new task, which is here a to do, which is from type a to do object, and basically in the repository I will add them to the private list, right? So I will say here to do list dot add, and this is adding the to do. So this could be adding to database if I have database, or to cloud database. Right now I have it in the memory, so it is not there is no persistent storage so far. I will come back to my view model, and in this view model, when I'm trying to add any new task, I will first of all add this to the repo. So I will call the repository function, and then I will update the state list by adding this new task to the state list, which should reflect and update my UI, because my UI will use this state list, not the repository state, which is very important to understand. So I will go here to my state list dot add this new to do, which is perfect, done. Same thing should be done for all other functions. Perfect. I'm done working with the view model, creating the view model, creating the repo. Right now I should use them in my main activity and pass this view model instance everywhere I need to do any changes to my UI. So let's go ahead and complete and use those in main activity. Now in main activity, I will create an instance of my view model. Make sure you have it as a lazy variable, late init lazy variable in your class, which is an object of type, I will call it here as a view model, and this is going to be a lazy object of type to do view model. And later on inside on create, I will create this view model and I will prepare it like this. So view model, I will use an existing built-in function called view models to initialize my view model. So this is going to be view models, and make sure here you pass this, you can here specify the type of the view model that you are building, which is here to do view model, and this is going to be my view model in this application. Because I will use this application every time inside the screens, and those screens are available in this app, my app Composable, so I will pass the view model all the way to my app Composable. And in order to pass it, this is going to be here a VM, and it's from type lazy view model like this. So I will pass it in here, and I will pass the variable like this to my Composable. Now in my application here, my app, every time I will here to display the list or display the other screen, I can pass the view model all the way to those Composable, so they can change the list, get the list, delete item from the list, or edit item in the list. Now our next step is to build the views in our screens, and basically we have two main screens in this application. The first one is app UI, and the second one is add new screen. So I will here create those two Kotlin files. So this is here list, or let's say here to do list screen, and this is not a class, it's a composable, so make sure you have it always as a composable. And I will make sure it's a function, and this function is a composable function. There we go. And because this is a function, I could here start do the logic in here, and I will add my other screen as right away. Later on I can continue designing. So this is a file, and this is going to be add new to do screen, and this is again will be a composable, and it is going to be a function add new to do screen. Here we go. Because I need to have the view models everywhere while I'm working, I can pass it all the way to those screens, or I can pass only when I need it, okay? But basically the two screens are ready, so I can use them in my nav host. In my nav host, my first one would be here to do list screen like this, and for the second one I will go with add new to do screen. And in this case I'm done working with the nav host, and all what I still have to do is build the design, build those UI, and finish the logic, which is also ready in my view model and app repository. So let's start right now designing our UI. So now to build the UI of this application, I will start first of all with the list. To work with the list, I need lazy column, and within this lazy column, each cell or each row in this lazy column has actually several composable. Starting with the text and task and the date, those should be in one column, and beside them I will add a switch and a button with the icon, with the delete icon. So in order to design that within this UI, the UI has a title and a floating action button. So I will work with scaffold. Basically, my main UI will work with scaffold that give me the initial looks and feel of a mobile application. So and in this design I will use a scaffold, and scaffold in here I will before go to the content of this scaffold, I will add top bar and floating action button. For the top bar, I will add a top app bar with title. This title is also a lambda, and within this lambda I will add text, and for this text I will make sure that title is to-do list. And this is for the top bar. I will add here a floating action button, but I have to be careful where to add the comma. Here we go. So floating action button, and again this is another lambda expression to add a floating action button with on click. And I will add here the logic, but inside this floating action button I need an icon. This icon I will use icons constructor to give me some one of the existing built-in icons. So this is here the icon add button, and I will add here a content description for this, which is here add new to do. Now I have those action button and title, and this is right now the time to add the content of this scaffold, basically the content of the main body of this application. I will add here inner padding, and later on I may notice and I could improve it or change it with something else. Alright, so now the content of this will be a lazy column, and lazy column is where I could design the list. The lazy column need items and need also some modifiers. So the modifier will be here. The modifier of this lazy column, I will add them in here to fill maximum size as well, and I will also work with the padding that I have it in here, dot padding, and I will pass inner padding to my lazy column, which is perfect. Now within the body of this lazy column I will use items, which is provide the list of values to be fill that lazy column. Basically I need here, for those items I need a list of something, and I do have a list of my to-dos, so I should pass it as a parameter to this composable in order to use it in this lazy column. So the first thing I needed as a parameter to my composable function here is this list, and this list will be a list of to-do, but this list is going to be a state list, so that's why it's going to be a snapshot, a state list of to-do. And now I can use this, just import this to-do. So within this lazy column we should add a lambda expression for the content, and this lambda expression for this content has a lazy list scope, and for this we have items, and those items specify each item to be added in this list. So I will here use items in my lazy column. So items here, and as you can see there is several overloads for those items, one of them with the count, and the second parameter here will be the item itself, as in the design of the item itself. So I will use this one, and I will use here count, and the integer here will be a list as a snapshot dot to list, and then I will here use count variable. The second parameter for this items, I should add here item content, which is another composable, represent how each item in this lazy list looks like. So I will add this as a lambda expression for those items, and basically each items in my lazy column will have a column, and within this column I will design a row, and this is here the row, and I will also import this row. I will provide the full design in my GitHub repo. The link will be provided in the description. Basically in this row I will add here several several modifiers and borders and padding and clickable modifier. I will provide that full code. And also for columns we have several modifiers and design. But basically in each row in this list I have one column, and this column contains two text. So here I'm building the main design only. So this is here each column, one column has two text. In each row has one column with two text, and beside that column we will add a switch, and that switch will be provided with all needed parameters definitely. And I need icon button, and this icon button to provide the functionality for deleting. I will go quickly here to provide the main data that should be provided to those values, and then the overall user interface modifiers and design will be provided in the GitHub repo for quick copy. So basically here I need the text here to be the item in this list. So I will go here to my list dot to list which index. I do have here the index, and this index I need to get this index every time in my in this rows. So I will get the access to those index basically in here when we are designing the lambda expression for items. So I have here index, and I will use it as a parameter to this lambda expression. So I have access to those index in here, and this will be the task. And for the second text I will also use text attribute, and I will use here list.toList element index, and I use it to display the date. And for the switch I will use here for checked, the boolean value would be the checked value from the list to be here is urgent. And I do have one more important to add, which is on checked change, which is a lambda expression to pass the logic when that switch clicked. And for this icon button I have to provide on click as a lambda expression, and within this button I will add here one icon, and this icon here will be the delete icon. So I will add it here as a vector. Okay, so I will use here image vector, and I will use here icons dot default dot delete. This should be fine, but I still have here to add one more variables, content description, and I will pass it here as a string delete, and that will be the main design that should give me the values I need to see in each row in my lazy column. I will provide here some functionality soon, specifically here when the user click on switch or change the switch, when the user decide to delete, and also when we need to display a red and a green rows depend on the is urgent, if the task is urgent or not urgent. So let's move on to complete the design of this UI. I will first of all add the functionality here inside on switch and on click, and basically this should be a function that run outside, mainly in main activity when something happened to those rows or tasks, to be more specific. So I will pass as a second parameter to this function, I will pass two functions. One of them is on switch, I will call it, and this function will be a lambda expression that specify here the ID of the clicked switch and the new value, which is a boolean value, and this is here going to return unit, right? So this is the style of function where the signature of an on switch function, and I need something similar for on delete. And this in this on delete I don't need the boolean value, I only need the ID of the deleted task, or I could also pass the to delete to do, and I could pass it as a to do object to this to delete. I will call those functions every time I need here. When there's a click on this on switch, I will call the function on switch, and I will pass the parameter. The parameter here for on switch will be the index, and the second parameter will be the switch, the new value of this switch, which is, I have it in here as it, because it will be a parameter to this on checked change. So I could say here it, and basically it is a parameter to this on checked change. I will do the same thing for delete. When there's a click on this delete button for any task, I will call on delete, and I will pass the object, in my case here list, and I will go here to list, and I will specify the index that I would like to delete as a parameter to this on delete. So those basically the two logic. Now I got an error here in main activity because I have to pass those parameters to my to-do list screen. So I basically I have right now 3 parameters. So I will go ahead and figure out this error. This now need 3 things. Number 1, the list of all to-dos, which I have it inside this view model. So view model dot value dot state list. So I'll close here, and this is your state list. This is the first parameter for my to do. The second parameter is a lambda expression, which is on switch, and I will pass it here as a logic. Later on I will add the logic for that. And the third one is on delete, which is also a lambda expression, a logic. So for this on switch, we have to provide here ID and value, and I will use here arrow function for that. And for on delete, we have delete or to delete task, and this is the parameter for this on delete. I will finish the logic here later on, and basically this logic will be calling functions in my view model. So I could go ahead and say here view model dot, and in case of switching, I will say here dot value dot update one task, passing the parameter ID and value to this update one task. So it will take care of switching between is urgent and true or false. And same thing here for delete one task, and I will pass the to delete task to this function. And in this way I will I finish the logic implementation, but I will here come back to my list and do one more update to this to the column. So the rows should look green if it's urgent true, sorry, if urgent false, or it should be red if urgent is true. Let's continue the UI and add here the background color for those for the list items. So this will be done here in this modifier. So I will say here modifier.background, and here I have conditional background. So this is basically going to be checking the list. So if this list element index that is urgent, if this is true, so I will here go with color to be red, else it will be color dot green. And this is basically what I need to have in here. So let me import those values. Color, let me just see if color here from graphics. So I will remove it, scroll down one more time, and I will import color from Android X. Here we go, green. See, here we go. So this is here the condition that I have. I will also add for each row, I will add a border. So for rows, I will add another modifier, and for those for the row here, I will go with modifier dot fill a maximum width. This is for rows. I will here add a border, and for those borders, I will go with 1 dB for the stroke. So 1.db, and I will select the color to be color dot black. Perfect. Importing, and I will close the modifier, and that's good. Perfect. I could see right now a list, no issues so far, but because I have no item in this list, I got no element, so I will add one or two in my model. I mean in my repository. So I will here say this is here the list, get list of to do. This is here the list. I have it an empty list now, but I can initialize it with a couple of to-dos to see the values. So I will I will rerun this application one more time and see the to list. That's not bad. I got the 2 items in here, and I see that there is here a very not enough space between the switch and the 2 values. Also, I need extra size for the text. To improve the UI, I added here some spacer and some padding to the row, adding the padding to be 10. I also added a modifier for the column to be only 70% of the width, and then I ended up also I increase the text font size, and I have right now a different an output to be better with also a nicer design. Let's test the application. If I click here on the switch, it should be fine, and clicking here, all good, deleting and deleting, and that's beautiful. Everything works for me because it's done via ViewModel. I'm updating here the ViewModel, and updating the ViewModel reflect or update the state list. Updating the state list, update my UI, and update the switch, and update the column background. And this is all because we are changing the state, and because we are using a snapshot state list. This is done automatically. I did not write any code to refresh this table. It's done for me right away. Now to navigate to add new to-do activity, I should here click on this floating action button, and I should be able to navigate. In order to navigate from this to-do list screen to the other screen, I need the Nav Controller, which I don't have it in my to-do list screen. So I should pass it to my to-do list screen in order to navigate from that screen to add a new to-do. So I will pass the navigate, the Nav Controller here, and I will add it in my list. So here I will pass it as a parameter to my list, and this will be a Nav Controller here, and this is from type Nav Controller. Perfect. This is right now I have it in my to-do list, and I will use it to navigate when there's a click on this button. So Nav Controller dot navigate, and I do have the route which is added earlier. I have it in there, which is add new to do, where I will navigate to. Perfect. If I run this code, I should be able to navigate to my other screen. Now to design this screen, add a new to do, I need to add a column with text field, a switch, a date picker, and a button. So I could go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give me the code for this composable. And this should give me the code. I have here the import is composable, name, date is a switch on. Everything here ready for me to copy it and use it in my application. So here I'm pasting the code from ChatGPT in this, and I can find that everything's fine for me. Let's test the UI and see if everything looks fine. Perfect, that's not bad. I could here write fix the door and select date, and I could also turn on the switch and click save button. Currently it's only printing, as I mentioned, so I could see that in log cat down there. I could see here this information. Right now I will pass it back to my main activity. So in main activity, this composable should return the lambda expression, which is on add, okay, which I will add right now in the same way as we did on delete and on switch for the UI. Now here I will add it as a parameter to this function, which is on add or on save. And this on save is an expression, a lambda expression that take this to do and return unit. Perfect, so I have to import this to do, and scrolling down to here, I don't have to print it anymore, so I will call here on save function, and I will create the new to do with passing the parameter name, date, and is switch on. Perfect, I don't need to print it anymore. And this is when we come back to main activity, I will here get this function which is on save with a lambda expression that has to add, and this to add is the to do object I have. I will go to my view model and I will add new to do, which is to add. This function should update my list, so I definitely should here close this screen after adding a new to do. So I don't forget here to here I should close. So I will use here navigator one more time, but I don't have it as a parameter. In order to navigate back, I should also pass nav controller as well to this function. So nav controller, so here I have it, so I will use it down there to navigate back. So nav controller dot I could here pop back stack. This is going to remove the recent screen from the top, come back to the list. Good. I should here also remember to pass it as a parameter, and if I run this code, I should get the to do functionality done after finish this UI and finish the logic to add the function. So here if I go to test it, let's see here, get the milk, and this is, let's say, urgent for tomorrow. I will here turn it on, save. Good. Get the milk is a red task. I could here switch it to green. Perfect. I could delete tasks, and I could try to add one more. Let's say here, read the book by next week, not urgent, save, perfectly fine, task added to my list. I hope you enjoy watching this tutorial to create a to-do application in Android native development with Kotlin and MVVM and Jetpack Compose. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And this is an urgent, try it as soon as possible. And if you like the video and would like to get the update, like and share this video with your friend. And this is also an urgent task, and thank you very much for watching.